Hey, what's up? This is Dwayne Shoots Toys, and you're listening to Toy Photocast. We are storytellers.
Hey, what's up? It's Jax from Plastic Action, and you're listening to the world-famous Toy Photocast. We are storytellers.
Nick Alicia is a toy photographer who resides in Littleton, Colorado. He goes by the Instagram name Inspired by Andre. His hobbies are music, movies, collecting, drawing, and photography. His favorite movies are Aliens, Terminator, Predator, Blade 1 and 2, Empire Strikes Back, 89 Batman, the Nolan trilogy, Batman vs. Superman, Interstellar, and lots of Marvel movies. His favorite book is The Oath by Frank Peretti, and his favorite foods are Puerto Rican, Chinese, and Italian. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Toy Photocast with Inspired by Andre. I hope you enjoy it. 3, 2, 1. What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Toy Photocast with the one, the only, Inspired by Andre. What's up, Nick? How you doing, man?
What's up, Dakota, man? And we made it.
We did. We're here. We did it. And I appreciate you coming on the show and doing this with me. And it means a lot to me. So I'm excited for this conversation.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate you reaching out. And I know it was a while back, but, I think it was good that it worked out like this. I've grown a lot more as an artist and as a person since that initial invitation. So I'm actually glad it worked out this way.
It's very fortuitous indeed, because I feel the same way for myself, because the format and the podcast itself has kind of evolved over time. And even that we haven't been doing it that long, but it's kind of become this event almost where, a new episode's released and everyone's able to listen in and kind of glean all the information and really appreciate the person being interviewed. So I'm excited, man. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah. It's pretty impressive to, even though hear each podcast and how a lot of artists, come from a different background or have a different style, how similar we all are. And that was probably one of the greatest things. It's always been my take back from every new podcast I would listen to,
Yeah. We all have like this moment where we realize this is something we like doing. And then there's obviously going to be differences in our story, but we all have that commonality of this is what we enjoy. Like this is, and being able to connect with others on that level, because it's not a widely, I wouldn't say widely accepted, but it's not like a widely practiced hobby. So when you find other people that's like you, it's like, oh man, I just want to treasure you,
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I still run to that, even to today when anyone asks, well, what do you do for fun? I was like, I take pictures of toys. I'm up front. I mean, I think in the beginning, I used to be kind of nervous in how I'd approach, answering someone on it.
Right.
It wasn't like I was ashamed, but man, the explanation you have to, go through with someone who doesn't understand what toy photography is. So I just flat say, yeah, I take pictures of toys. And they're like, what, like you just set it down and take a picture? I was like, yeah, a little more than that. And then I'll show them my gallery and they're like, wait, what? These are toys?
Yeah, dude, that's the best way to show them is just pull up your Instagram and just scroll. And
Yeah.
they're like, immediately, they're like, wait a minute, this is way cooler than I envisioned, because a lot of people don't really understand the concept until you're able to show them. Like I don't necessarily always pull up my account, but I'll pull up some of my, most favorite accounts, and I'd be like, hey, look at these guys,
Sure.
check this out. And they're like, okay, I get it now.
Yeah, I have to kind of do that. I've got a couple artists in mind that, I'll be like, well, this is kind of along the lines of what the community does. And when
Right.
you show the variations, for some people, they're mind blown. Some people, they just don't understand it. And that's okay.
Yeah,
And that's just how art is, man. I mean, some people get it, some people won't.
that's true. It is subjective. So,
I
dude,
mean,
let's kick it off, man. So, how long have you been doing this thing, toy photography?
wow. I would say dedicated since November of 2018.
Okay. So, about 2 years.
About 2 years.
Nice.
It gets a little hazy. I mean, I before that it was for fun, it like not even like a lot. It was just at the moment, my son was really young and a couple of times being on the beach playing and I was getting him into Star Wars and Jurassic Park stuff and Jurassic World at the time, I should say. And he had those toys with him, and I just was like, hey, this would be kind of a fun idea. I seen this on Instagram once.
Nice.
And because we've all seen somebody amazing out there do something, and my wife and I were just hanging out with our son playing in the sand. I was like, I could do something cool real quick. Set up this little, the smaller size Black Series Stormtrooper and some Velociraptors that come blind bagged from at the time the Jurassic World release movie. And I remember setting them up on the beach and just it looks like at first they're attacking the stormtrooper and he's just trying to calm them down. And then there's this, I had a shot where he's just lounging, chilling on the sand, looking over and watching the Raptors just kind of fight each other. But it was fun. Like it was just a couple shots, maybe 3 shots total, and it kind of just fizzled out. I didn't really think much of it. It just seemed fun because I was like, hey, I've seen this on Instagram before, so it'd be fun to kind of do something like that.
So, that was your first kind of introduction to toy photography?
Yeah, to actually like putting in the effort to making telling a story using toys in a photo.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, that
Nice.
was the first time. Before that, I had like started collecting, once I had a son, I got in touch with the kid in me saying, oh, when he's older, he could play with this, or he's gonna like that. And I remember buying stuff and remember my childhood. And I had an office desk at the time with a company I work in, and I was living in Cali at the time too. And I remember just setting up like Godzilla, some Spawn figures, some Transformers. I mean, I had all this stuff, and I'd have customers that come into work and just it was a great conversation starter because we were all dads and geeks and nerds at some point, just fans of comic books and movies. So that was probably like uh 20 around 2011 when I did that. And I
Nice.
wouldn't really take a lot of pictures of the figures like this, to storytell. It was really just like, hey, this is my work setup. I'd take that picture and I'd post it, like to keep my sanity. And it was. I look at these figures and just, keep thinking, okay, once his crappy work day's over, I'm looking forward to seeing my son because one day we could play together and enjoy these things. But that's,
How old is your
that was
son now?
he's 9.
He's 9.
Yeah,
Okay, so he's able to enjoy some of that stuff now.
oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, I got him into a lot of the movies that kind of coincide with some of these figures I collect, and um, of course, me supervising, being a dad, I monitor what he watches the best that I can for sure. I won't let him watch certain things by himself, but
Sure.
yeah, I let him, watch AVP, Aliens. It's usually just a whole lot of don't say that, don't say that, don't say that, don't repeat that, don't repeat that. It works. I mean, he's doing great, and it helps because he's in Taekwondo, so it's part of his leadership training and stuff to be responsible and common sense before self defense and all that. So it does help, hand in hand for sure.
Have you tried to get him to take some photos yet?
So in the beginning, when I started around the end of 2018, going into 2019, I have him see what I did, and it's further back in my IG timeline, but there was a couple times where he would come in and see what I was doing, and then have him do practice shots and whatever. And for a little bit, on and off, he was really looking like this was cool, and he would want to join in. And I guess as he got older and newer toys came out, or he got into other stuff, he wasn't as frequently wanting to get involved. But just recently, he's showing another spark again because of the GI Joes. He really likes Snake Eyes right now.
Nice. Yeah, that line is doing really well. Hasbro kind of killed it, didn't they?
I tell you what, I don't want to. I don't know the other way to put it, but I guess I was experiencing somewhat of a Star Wars fatigue.
Okay.
And I did collect a lot of Star Wars. I'm still a huge fan. I love Star Wars. That's always going to be part of my childhood and in my life and even my son's. But I didn't find myself shooting them as much, and I kind of circled back to my '80s theme stuff from my childhood or what I like to collect. And man, when these things came out, like I remember ordering the Snake Eyes. Like as soon as I saw that pop up from the Hasbro Pulse notice, I was like, "What?" I was like, "No way!" Like Snake Eyes was my introduction to GI Joes and what a ninja looked like as a kid. Like that
Yeah.
was my intro. So I was like, "Yeah, I'm ordering this." Like I'd have to be idiot if I don't. I'm already like a big '80s guy as it is. I cannot pass on Snake Eyes. So
Right.
I pre-ordered that, and I remember when that was like the only thing that was out from the GI Joe Classified series, and started shooting that. And I was looking at this thing. I'm like, man, the details, and it just. I remember holding it next to a Black Series because that was kind of like for Hasbro, and then nothing against Marvel Legends or nothing. I mean, they make some great stuff too, that line. But I think the Black Series, a lot of people could agree, would go to for that realism
Mm-hmm.
and that cinematic accuracy at some point. But
Yep.
but looking at that Snake Eyes in comparison to the Star Wars Black Series line, I was just kind of like, man, this thing is. I think it's killing it right now. This might be it. And then
Yeah.
it blew up, like ridiculously blew up.
I'm happy for him, man. Like I just got the first chance to actually kind of mess with that figure yesterday. Or no, day before yesterday. And it's amazing, man. It like the articulation is great, and I was really surprised at the details, like you said. Like it's a really, really great figure.
Oh man, yeah, words can't really describe it. I mean, once you have it in hand, and I mean, even the other figures in the line, like I'm not a huge fan of the paint apps on and the sculpting of Duke and Scarlet, but they look cool. I mean, I could think of like several artists that make them look good behind the lens. And I don't know, I get picky when I collect, and I'm like, I kind of want it to look great as is. I don't want to get it and say I want to make it look good with these shots. I like to have something, and that's just a personal thing for me. I mean, everyone collects differently. That's what I do for me. And so when I saw the lines coming out, I'm like, these look cool. Not bad, not bad. And then Target all of a sudden drops this bomb of exclusives, and I'm like, wait, 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 dude, Roblox looks like that. He got sunglasses, the black and white American flag shirt, like it was dope, man. I was like, man, this. Okay, see that I could get behind that roadblock. And then the Cobra Trooper, forget it. Forget it. That's gotta easily be for 2020 toy releases, that figure has to be one of the top 10. Easy. If I was gonna choose a top 10,
Nice.
it was. But I mean, just top release has to go to that Cobra Trooper. I mean, the details are just phenomenal, phenomenally insane on that figure. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, you can look at the texture of the pants, the bulletproof vest underneath the jacket he's got with the straps, and I mean all that. It's almost like the same passion they put into the Hasbro Pulse release of Snake Eyes, they put into that Cobra Trooper.
Mm.
And then Beachhead, same thing. I was like, this is wild. Like my son was flipped out like when he saw Beachhead. And mind you, like he's never seen the classic G.I. Joe cartoon. Like I haven't a chance to even show him that. I want to. And he hasn't seen the classic Joes. So when he saw these, I explained the story to him, like, Andre, man, when I was your age and younger before you, they were smaller. They didn't even look like this. He's like, Dad, like Beachhead. He looks like kind of like a green ninja or something. Like he's awesome. I like it. He's a soldier. Like he's going on explaining these things. I'm like, yeah, that's all the reasons why I'd like him too, and just kind of going back and forth. and then Baroness, and I mean that's a whole nother. That's a that was a struggle. I mean, so I don't know if you know. I'm pretty sure you know by now, but the big struggle it's been to even find these things in stores.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I actually didn't even know because I don't know GI Joe, so I it's
yeah,
not my IP, but I
yeah.
appreciate the fan base, and I've been
Sure.
watching all the Snake Eye Saturday shots that Scott started, and it's really cool, man. It's a fun little community, and I think I think with collecting nowadays, like especially if you're trying to go in stores and find things, like it's just so hit or miss with COVID and trying to
Yeah,
yeah, because like a lot of the places around where I live, like they don't even get stocking of any products. Like we're not getting anything. Like I mean I don't even really try to buy anything when I'm out and about. I'll peek through the aisle or something, but I there's nothing. It's just dry. But yeah, I can imagine it'd be difficult, especially with that fan base, because GI Joe is, I feel like, up there with Star Wars or Transformers with the fan base.
it is. It is. I don't think anybody was ready for the amount of attention these things were gonna have when they got released. And yeah, long story short, it was crazy just to get some of these that I have now. In fact, let me see. I had to uh basically have a friend through the Snake Eyes Saturday group, KJ, shipped from Virginia the Cobra Trooper and the Baroness. I couldn't find them at like multiple targets locally. I had to get them
Hmm.
through mail. And Beachhead, I got lucky because I just happened to know somebody that knows somebody, and they basically did what's been happening at the stores. They had to hide it and tell me where it was at, and I went and found it. It was the last one, and some guys like, yeah, man, it's in the Roblox section. I'm like, all right, man, thanks. Walked in there, went to the Roblox section, and the guy, like, it wasn't even like he like super shoved it to the back of the shelf. He just put it right behind his Roblox figure, and it was right there. And I just grabbed it. I'm like, this is crazy. You shouldn't have to go through this, but that's what it's
Yeah.
been. It's so insane, the demand and the popular demand for just getting Joes right now. And I think this is not just a fresh new thing, but the nostalgia behind it. And I kind of feel like it's the same thing with the Black Series still, for the most part. There's such a huge fan base, and every time there's a new release, it's kind of like along those lines. But if anything, these GI Joe classifieds like have shown me like what the hustle has been for a while. I was just blind to it because I don't really go and buy figures all the time. I
Yeah.
just buy the ones I really want to like because I have a connection to it.
Yeah.
But toy hunting, man, I haven't done that since Andre was really young when I would do some of the Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure waves. And I'd take Dre with me, and it was like a father-son thing. And he loved it because we were hunt. We'd go from Walgreens to Walgreens to Walgreens to Target to Walmart, and not in the same day. Like, we'd spread it out over like a couple weekends or so. And he'd have fun. He's like, Dad, we're going on a hunt today. I said, yeah, we're going on a hunt. And then we go somewhere. Hey, Dad, that's the exclusive. Like he knew the terms already and was getting it down. You know what I mean? Like he knew it was really fun. But I had stopped that when I moved to Colorado for the most part. And this GI Joe classified thing was the first time in a while where I got committed to a toy hunt. And man, was it stressful. I was like, it should not be this hard, man. And I remember the first one I actually bought. I was able to buy. It was the one of the estimated street dates. We had a planned joke about that. Say street date one more time, and I actually used that in a Roblox shot and as a caption. But based on a estimated street date release, I went to this one Target, walked in, and I found the Target exclusive Roblox, and I was like, sweet, had it in hand. Then there was this really nice lady that was, she worked there stocking the toy section. I was like, I have a question. You guys happen to have any of these other ones in stock? She's like, well, let me look into it. She's like, oh, according to my device, that that's all we have. And yeah, some guy and his friend came asking earlier. I was like, man, I'm not the only one. I
Oh
was like, all
yeah.
right. And so, and I mean, I guess slight ignorance on my part. I'm not the only collector in Colorado, so. But I grabbed it and I was like, well, I'm just curious. I heard these aren't ringing up in some places. And some places aren't even selling them because it's not the official street date. And I was just being honest, you know.
Yeah.
I think someone else right now would be like, dude, you just shot yourself in the foot. You should have walked out. No, I was just asking. I wanted to educate myself on this whole process after hearing so many people vent about it online. And so she was like, well, let me look into it. She's like, yeah, according to my handset here, we can't sell that, but there's nothing to stop me from letting you go ring that up. I said, really? She was, yeah, see what happens. That's why I appreciate that. Thank you. So I took it, rang up just fine. So I went to customer service right after that. Immediately, I went to customer service. I have a question. You guys show to have some in the back, some you don't, and these on the floor, and it says it's a street date. You're not supposed to sell this. I just bought this. Can you help me understand what's happening here? She was like, yeah, we weren't supposed to sell you that. So mind you, she's not telling me I'm gonna take that back from you. She's not forcing me to return it. She's telling me, yeah, we weren't supposed to sell you that, but you got lucky. So congrats. You know, you got a new action figure. Have fun. I was like, this is wild. So I went back to the car. I remember chatting with the guys in the Snake Eye Saturday group, and I was like, we have one target saying one story, one saying another, one person saying their systems have to be updated in order to sell it. That ended up being a lie. You know, you can literally just ring it up if it's on the floor. So it was just all it's been wild. It's been wild, but it was not a pleasant experience. But I think I had more fun just being involved in the Snake Eye Saturday group, the chat in there, the camaraderie, the the humor, the laughs, but people networking and critiquing feedback back and forth. It's been amazing. And if anything, what I love about this toy line is how it's brought more people together in the community to do collaborations, to work together and be part of something bigger, you know, and it's been great. So that's one thing I do like that came out of it.
That's awesome, man. I'm excited for you, and I think it's just the beginning of a massive line, because they obviously have the popularity and the people who are wanting to purchase the product. So it's probably just going to get bigger and bigger from here
Absolutely.
on.
I agree. I agree.
Let's discuss your setup, man, and your camera and what you got working with for your photos.
Okay, yeah. See, I use a Canon EOS M2. Reason behind that, it just has 18 megapixels, where my old Canon XXI has like what 10, you know, and I'm probably misquoting the exact numbers there, but it's just not going to give me the clarity that I want.
Mm,
And I found an adapter that allows me to use the lenses from my old SLR on the EOS M2. So I saved money there, and I kind of hop back and forth between my 50 millimeter and my 28 135 millimeter lenses.
nice. Do you have a specific, like, when you're trying to shoot photos, like with your camera, are you trying to go for like a vibe? Like, because I know that you're very cinematic in your shots. Like, do you have some inspiration that you're trying to draw from when you're shooting?
Yeah. So, I mean, my inspiration came initially from, you know, my son, just watching him play with toys. I remember I guess to try and take it back a bit, and I know I probably skipped back that earlier when you asked me when I started, but falling into a deep anxiety depression is what brought me to toy photography, and I had a
Mm,
really dark moment, and I just had a flash, a memory in my mind of watching my son play with toys and his ability to just be at eye level and setting things up like they're in a movie. And I posted it one time too, and it was actually the definitive point for me in my mind of, you know, how my son inspired me for this was he set up like all these cool toys. I had like this old Independence Day alien toy. He had his 54 Godzilla little vinyl, T-Rex from like Schleich Toys, some Star Wars figures all lined up, and it literally looked like this cool classic like kaiju movie scene. Like it was great, you know, and that actually popped right into my head. And that's what kind of set things off to say, you know, I have this huge collection in my room. Why don't I try like doing something with this, get my mind off this funk? And that's kind of what went from there. And up to now, it's still part of my inspiration is just hearing my son, how dramatic he is when he plays and how detail oriented he is, how he just really articulates his stories and his ideas when he plays. So I still use that as those are big elements in what I do. Then I get inspired from comic books and movies I watched from my youth up to now. But Guillermo del Toro is probably like my number one, I would say, for my cinematic inspirations and
Okay.
influence. The way he uses contrast colors in film, and I always go back to Blade 2 and Pacific Rim for lots of my reference material for how I want perspective, composition, angles, and the color contrasting to look, and
Mm.
kind of grown from there. But I like to mix it up every once in a while. It's kind of evolved. I mean, if anyone who's been following me since the start, like Binary Sunset, that guy's amazing. He's like a super huge supporter in the community, very nice guy. And I remember like he was the first one to share my work and like all my photos. And I remember I was just kind of like, I'm just playing around and I'm thinking what I'm doing is right, but this guy thinks it's awesome. And he was super kind and humbled me. He's like, "You're gonna be great, man." I was like, "Thank you. I appreciate that." He saw that early on, and I didn't. And I was just playing around with lights. You know what I mean? I the other part of my tools is I use these Costco bought storm LED lights that they just stay on the wall all day,
Hmm.
and at night when the sun goes down, they light up on their own. It's like a frost color, so they like change and transition different colors. But when you unplug it from the wall, it stays either frost white or you turn it outside and it's an LED flashlight. And I've been using those all over my shots. Like I set them up all kinds of different ways to try and achieve a different type of lighting thing, rim lighting,
Hmm.
whatever I can make. And an LED light spool that my wife got me because we were at Lowe's and she was like, "Hey, you don't think this might help you with your photography?" I was like, "Yeah, that'd be cool. Thanks. Let's try it out." She's been like huge supporter since the beginning, and I've been using those lights for like warm colors or the neon lightings if I want to go like straight retro style on it. So, but yeah, Guillermo's been my biggest inspiration for the cinematic look, and my son for just scene setups.
That is so cool, man. Because I don't know where I heard it recently, but I feel like it's so important to play with your toys, like
Hell yeah.
because it just it it actually does something neurochemically that helps you to grow as a human being, like just to play, not necessarily with toys, but just playing, like actually, like that's why we did it as kids. And then you grow up and they're like, oh, stop playing, don't play anymore. You're adult. You gotta, take things seriously. And we stop playing. But then for us as toy community photographers and people that collect these things, like we play all the time. Like we're just our imagination is goes through the roof when we got a figure in our hand. We're like, oh man, he could be doing this or she could be doing that. And the playing aspect, I feel like, is what probably helped you the most, once you think, like just being able to decompress and just play.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think a lot of us had those moments. Like that's why we do this. We remember as a kid playing with these things. We took a little detour in life and then we came back to it like, yes, now I can appreciate it even more. And I
Mm.
think we all kind of tap into the kid in ourselves from the past a little bit and said, "Oh man, I remember at that time I wanted to do this. Let's see what I can do now." I mean, you got different resources and reference material and a whole community of inspiration. I mean, you can probably look at any hashtag and that someone uses in a post and get like thousands upon thousands of photos of everything. And you're like, "Man, I didn't think about that pose," or "Oh man, so I'm comfortable now. I can make that pose. It won't look silly because someone did it and they executed it." And that can kind of bring its own troubles too, because if you don't sit there and play with these things and check the range of motion and articulation, you're not going to know that you can actually dial in that pose.
Mm.
And it was my son that taught me that. I was over here worried about breaking stuff. And then the one day I finally just said, "You know what? I can't, this is just toys, man. My son means more." And a lot of my poses I owe to him. I really do. And Scott Blino, we talk a lot. He always has this joke, man. I gotta have I need Andre over here to help me with this shot. I'm like, dude, you telling me, man, I'm out of it today. I wish he was awake right now so I can nail this shot I want to nail. But you know, yeah, there's a lot of times where if I'm shooting something, I'm in the middle of a setup, he's on the side looking through my collection that I already have out, or he's like, hey dad, can I see, your new Predator or Alien? Oh, yeah, sure, go for it. And he'll do this thing, like, dad, check this out. This would be cool. I'm like, man, that's brilliant, right? Thank you. I would have never thought of about that. And so a lot of times I owe those ideas and angles and poses to him. Then it's just me behind the lens trying to dial everything in and give it that cinematic feel in some way.
That's awesome, man. I love that you can be able to connect with your kid at that level, and it's become, I mean, essentially what your account's all about is inspired by your son, and being able
Yeah.
to share that collaboration and share that, because I know that when he grows up, I mean, it's gonna mean the world to him, having those moments with you, and it's gonna just probably deepen his understanding of the world, and be able to just have like, because I didn't have that. I didn't have that opportunity to connect with my father like that. Like, he tried in some ways, but we never really bonded like that. It was funny. There was a moment when he saw my collection, and I guess he just didn't know how many figures I had, but I had like all these Dragon Ball Z figures, like all stacked up in my closet, and I had them all posed and everything. And I don't know, he just went in there one day and just opened up. He's like, man, you're like got these things, and you're like worshiping these idols in here. I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? I'm just playing with toys. Like, that was not my goal at all, was to like bow down and worship Goku. Like, I just was just playing. Like, it's just toys, man. And I think I was like 14 at the time. And that really made me like be like, oh, I guess I can't do this anymore. And so that kind of, but that's so cool though. I think that it's going to be such a rich experience for him, and being able to look back and be like, man, that was like bonding moment. And he'll be able to do that with his kid, hopefully one day.
Well, I mean, the way you were describing some of that too, I think we shouldn't set limitations on ourselves, man. It's unfortunate. I mean, we come from society, or even some type of cultural, social ignorance of our family upbringing, that there's a cutoff in your age, in your life, for fun. Why?
Yeah.
I mean, who made that rule up? Well, nobody did. Somebody along the way says, "Well, do toys is for kids." But then what do you do when you get older? Some of these guys are collecting cars that are hundreds to $200,000, and they call them, big boy toys. I'm like, it's still a toy. You get
Right.
in that car, you're accessorizing it, getting new wheels, new tires. I mean, I'm a car enthusiast too. I mean, I remember I was part of it. I used to be in a car club, car community, and it's the same thing. And you still get that same reaction from other people. Like, really, you spent hours in a parking lot talking about your car? Yeah, I actually did. And they're like, why? You can go like do something else. I'm like, that's my thing. So again, I mean, we try to justify, based on society or our age group or our peer group, to say, this is okay, this is not okay. I honestly, man, there's nothing better than something youthful to keep you youthful, whatever that looks like. And you're
Right.
not hurting anybody taking pictures of toys. I've seen some pretty crazy things in a night meeting up at a car meet, and people doing some illegal street racing or donuts in the parking lot, people getting hit with cars. So it's like, take pictures of toys, cars. I mean, we all have our things, but I don't see anything harming anybody with taking pictures of toys.
No. Yeah, you're right. Like, there's nothing really that's hurting any. All it does is benefiting people, because especially when you share it on social media, you're able to connect with people, and inspire people. All it is it's a win-win-win. But
Yeah, for sure. Like I've tagged Stan Winston school, and they actually like my stuff, and it always makes me feel so good because, man, that's my childhood. Stan Winston designed stuff: Pumpkinhead, Terminator, Predator, Aliens, RoboCop, like all those things, man. Even as a kid when I was in the Jurassic Park, like I connected with that, and it makes you wonder. All those guys in those studios, they started somewhere playing with toys, making things with their hands.
yeah.
And it all bleeds over. It all bleeds over. But yeah, like, and to address what you said, I'm hoping that, for my son, he keeps that youthful part of him and sees what I'm doing. That yeah, I want better for you. I want you to put yourself, push yourself physically and mentally through education and martial arts to be someone I never got to be. But remember, you have a kid side, and there's nothing wrong with that. That youth, we all do thrive for it. We all want it in some way. Some of us are so stuck into the daily grind that yeah, when we watch that movie or we listen to that song, it's something we reminisce. It brings something back up, a great moment, and that's what the toy community has found, and these artists have found. It's that one thing that we remember from our childhood. It's all a connection, and I want my son to have that connection too, and that's why I'm always forever grateful for Jack and Dan, Exclu, and Tiny Epic Toy Photos, for getting me on the with Toys in Mind anthology book. It was my piece for my son. Like I even told those guys, first off, you got the right dude, because why am I in this book? And it was really nice that they gave me the invitation. But ultimately for me, I was kind of starstruck and shocked the whole process, because I didn't think I'd be in that book. But when it was all said and done and holding it in hand, I told Dre, I said, Dre, this is for you. This book, I want this, I dedicate this for you, man. I would have never started this if it wasn't for you. And of course, him at the time being so young, he didn't understand. And I was just breaking it down for, look, I was, look, buddy, you being a kid, being playful, reminded me of what's really more important than my job and the drama of the world and the things that were just making me feel horrible and like garbage. You were that shining light for me that reminded me to pull myself out of that dark pit. So I would have never made it into this book if it wasn't for you and what you did for me. And I want him to have that book when he's older, so he knows that don't forget to take a pit stop in your childhood every once in a while. It's a good place for reference tool for your life. Remember, you can have fun and still connect with people by being youthful and just having fun. Not everything has to be serious all the time.
I love that, dude. I feel like we could just end it right there. I mean, it would be perfect, but I know there's more we want to talk about. So let's discuss your favorite line of figures, and let's talk about the nitty-gritty details about like your collection and what you want to do with it. Do you have any plans for the end of this year and next year? You got anything on pre-order?
Oh man. I'm actually I think as a collector we all fall into, the hype of certain releases, or
Yeah.
how some people can just take a shot of something, it looks amazing, but when you get it in hand, you're like, I thought this thing looked better, and I've actually been canceling a lot of orders this year. One, because I think I just went a little too crazy. I was just thinking like, I had this idea of a collection, and ultimately what I want to set up when I want to finally build a man cave and have something cool for guests or my son and I to hang out in. But the other side of it was like, do I really need this? Do it, like, is this something for my passion? Do I have passion in that character or that figure? And my I have like a very close uh connection to pretty much anything that's Batman, Terminator. I mean, Batman, Predator, and Aliens. It's almost in the same universe, but I guess still Terminator. And I got a Terminator figure somewhere, but anything Batman, Predator, and Aliens is like closest to me. That was my bread and butter, my milk and honey as a kid. Like I love that stuff. Anything with that. I mean, I grew up watching those things, and a lot of my inspiration in my collection came from those movies, and so rightfully so, that's stuff that I still collect. And um, I've got let me see, I forgot the whole full name, but it's the Hot Toys Arkham Batman Beyond edition Hot Toys that I have on pre-order. I did
Oh,
not on buying that. That was so my wife bought me and surprised me last year for my birthday, the Star Boost Hot Toys Iron Man from the House Party Protocol. And
nice.
I was floored. I was just like, what? Like I didn't expect, because I mean, we have conversations like, man, that's kind of up there for a toy. We're like, yeah, no, I agree. And then we get to a point in collecting with photos, and she sees what I do, and she supports that. But you know, she knew how much I liked and you know, the Iron Man Hot Toy stuff, but I never really went out and got one because of the price tag. And we found this local shop that this guy who owns his own business opened this little comics and toy shop, and he actually made a bunch of trade deals with a huge hot toy collector somewhere. And so his store had this influx of hot toy figures, and he had like marked them all down because they were used because he had traded for them. And so yeah, we got like this incredible deal on this hot toy Star Boost Iron Man, and that was like I said, okay, I'm never gonna get another hot toy. I'm good. Like we're good there. I remember it was I think in January, maybe February, but in January I saw that post from Hot Toys. I was like, oh my goodness. Like I love Batman.
Yep.
And I love the Batman Beyond design. And I never got to get the Mezco one. And I've never been a huge fan of the Mattel style ones that they made. And I was like, you know what? I can't pass this up. This thing looks just insane, you know? And I just pulled the trigger, so, you know, I'm gonna order this, you know, and let's see where it goes. It's been painful all year waiting for that, you know, and waiting because as the year progresses, all of a sudden some other stuff came out, you know, and I trying to decide what's worth ordering and not, depending, you know, if it's like, because if it's up to me, I'd buy like probably like 30, 40 Batman figures. Like I love Batman.
Me too, man.
I can tell too from your shots and the stuff you collect as well, man. And Scott and I, we always go back and forth. And when him and I have like a mental block or a rough week or whatever, I always kind of tell him, dude, let's just do a Batman collaboration because I know we can get our gears going. And he always ends up doing something like insanely awesome, you know. And I'm like, man, I'm glad that I asked him to do a collaboration because it brought that out into the community. That amazing shot he made, you know, and there's like so many other people in the community that have that knack for that one figure. They make it glow and shine or do amazing things with it. And so, yeah, like I said, Batman, you know, it's hard for me to not like something Batman, but I will get kind of picky about it. I have the 1989 Michael Keaton Mezco on pre-order as well. Couldn't pass that up because that's, you know, one of my favorite designs. I've got the Mezco Justice League Tactical Suit Batman. That's my favorite on-screen suit. It just looks so sick. I couldn't pass that up. And then I have the Mafex 3.0 Dark Knight Batman, the Christian Bale Batman.
Yeah.
Literally, I got those three on purpose. Actually, I forgot to mention I have the old NECA 89 Batman, but long story short, I found that at a toy convention and just bought it because it looked sick. But I purposely went and got the tactical suit and then the Mafex Dark Knight, or the Christian Bale one, because those three designs, the Michael Keaton, Batfleck, and Bale, they're my top three favorite designs of all time of Batman cinematic suits. And I just wanted to have all three. I think I did a couple shots, or at least one I did for Batman Day, I think last year, where I took a picture of all three of them because I was like, man, this is my opportunity in the DC universe right here is these three suits, you know. But yeah, when Mezco released the photos of their Keaton, I was like, oh man. I said, I love the NECA one, don't get me wrong, but when this thing comes out, I might dethrone it on the accuracy with the way they designed it. So
Yeah.
but definitely love Batman. Love Batman and Aliens, anything Aliens for the most part. Love that. That's some of the stuff that I got Andre into and watching. And again, a lot of designs I get from my shots is because we sit down and watch these movies and Andre's like, oh, Dad, you should do that for that shot. I'm like, I know, right? Well, I don't have certain lighting, and then I'd find a way to make it work anyway, you know? So thanks to him pointing those out in the movies we watched together.
That's so sick, man. Yeah, you know how much I love Batman and how much he means to me as a character, but it's like whenever you can connect with somebody on that level with a character, it's like you guys understand like what it means, like especially with everything that character stands for and you know the mission statement that he has. It's like, of course, we all have our preferences on which design or which iteration is our favorites, but like at its core, like it's just a guy who went through some crap as a kid, and he's just trying to make it right, and he's just
Yeah.
trying to he's just trying to do good in his town, and he's trying to be the best that he can, but he sees that there's a gap, where uh where the law isn't able to achieve what needs to be done, so he takes it on himself, and he does. And I don't personally like the iterations where he's out there like killing bad guys. Like that's not for me. Like I like the Batman that he never takes it that far, but he's always trying to work with the law enforcement and with Gordon, and trying to do stuff that the police department can't. You know what I mean? Like Batman has no boundaries. Like Batman can go to China and go extradite some guy that, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I love that. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So I love that and even though he was burdened and blessed with the wealth, but he used it in a way to be able to give back to his city. And yeah, I could talk about Batman all day.
Oh, I
But
don't mind. I love Batman. Gave me that.
what
I
did you
mean,
think about the trailer, bro? What did you think about the new one?
oh man, I lost it. I lost
Oh,
it.
dude.
Yo, when he was beating that dude in the street, it literally had the same vibes of Snyder's Ultimate Edition BVS, where he goes crazy in the warehouse and he's just beating those dudes up in the warehouse. I was like, this is the same vibes right here, but like it was just so much darker. And I remember, how many people just joked about the the DCU or Snyder being like super dark, why you so dark or whatever, and all the jokes, but obviously it resonated because Matt Reeves' Batman literally adopted the dark tone note and said, we're gonna make it even darker. And I was watching that trailer. I'm like, man, this is so dark tone. Like, I wanted to watch it right away. I'm like, I gotta wait for this.
I
Dang.
know.
And then the vibe was just almost eerie in some scenes. I loved it. It almost gave me that uncomfortable feeling I got watching the Joker, right? The recent Joker.
Yep.
Like it strikes a chord. Like, oh man, this is gonna get serious. Am I ready for it? And then that trailer brought that same feeling, and it was a Batman movie, and it I think that's why I liked it. It drew me in even more because it's pushing the boundaries even more for who we know as Batman.
I think we're as a as a culture and as a community of Batman fans, I don't think we're ready, man. I honestly don't think we're ready because like Pattinson, like he's such a serious actor, and people really underestimate what he can do. But if you've seen like The Lighthouse, or if
Yeah,
you've seen any of his other movies, like this dude is a serious actor, and he takes it to the next level, and he really felt the weight. Like if you watch his interviews, he's like, man, like this is not just any character. This is a cultural phenomenon. Like I have to bring it. And like I can already tell just from that one shot where he's like Bruce Wayne in that one little scene, and he like saves that guy from the car, flying in. And it's like, oh man, that's Batman. I couldn't even see Pattinson. I just saw Batman. I was like, wow. So I'm
yeah.
excited.
Oh, same man. When you mentioned Lighthouse, I agree. Like that intensity's there. I mean, I wasn't ready for the Lighthouse.
I wasn't either, dude. That was a weird movie, but like he brought it on that one.
So many people talked about it. I saw so many chats about it. I had a couple DMs about it. I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. Like I'm down for black and whites. I used to watch those like crazy. Um, I watched that, and I remember it was right before I got the Baron Ben's Mezco figure.
Okay.
I had watched that, and it literally, like, I have some ideas still because of the Lighthouse that I want to do with that Baron Ben's figure because of what the Lighthouse had in it. Like, it was like, man, I've been wanting to try something. And there's been some great shots in the community that had that great black and white feel with Baron Ben's, but that movie, the tone in it and his performance, again, I wasn't ready. I really wasn't, and then it resonated with me
Yeah.
so afterwards. I was like, man, I gotta really invest in some underwater shots or something ocean related because when you watch that film, you have like it's evident throughout that it's impactful in the characters' lives and what's happening. And I don't want to give out too much if people haven't seen it. I think it's worth watching, but it was so powerful watching them two together, man. Like, have you read like what they did in real life? Like they didn't like one actor stayed at a hotel, while the other one stayed with the crew. Like they
No,
had
I don't know anything about the behind the scenes.
Dude, yeah, if you go on Amazon and watch, and I don't know if it's still there, but like they have the cool little movie trivia stuff at the bottom. Those actors basically didn't even talk to each other throughout the whole production, just when they were like filming the scenes. They actually became friends after the movie released, but it was
Huh.
just so they both could be in character. And I'm like, man, it worked because when you watch the film, you could get that sense of a division and an individuality between the two men, but they both had that same intensity.
Yes.
So crazy that they were able to harness that intensity that they could have passed for brothers, but they didn't even like hang out together. And I know every actor's got their own rhyme and reason to what they do to prepare for a role or to stay in character. But the fact that they made that choice, or one actor chose to do something and one did something different, it actually benefited the movie greatly all the way through the end. So yeah, but yeah, funny you brought that up because I used that for inspiration on a monochromatic black and white tone shot of Baron Ben's figure because I watched that movie.
Man, just to be able to like go toe to toe with William Defoe and hold your own like that for me. Once I saw Pattinson, I was like, okay, that's he's gonna kill Batman because I didn't know, man. I wasn't for sure. I was like on the edge. I was like, maybe because a lot of people weren't really sure if Bale could really be a good Batman before
Right.
he, and him being such a method actor, he really he's my personal favorite on-screen Batman, and Pattinson might dethrone him for me. You know what I mean? Like he seems, especially if we're able to get like two or three more movies with Pattinson, because I feel like they're trying to do a trilogy probably. But
I,
yeah,
I think you're right. I think he's gonna blow the bail bat out the water, and I don't think it's intentional.
yeah, it's not intentional. It's just him being that great.
His craft. I mean, and and just like you said, I think you are right. I don't think we are ready because if you watch anyone who hasn't seen the Lighthouse is they in for a treat from all different perspectives because um what happens in that movie. Like
No.
every every scene you don't expect. And I think okay, most films we go to watch, we don't expect everything that's happening, but that movie, like the way every scene plays out, I had these like moments where I was cringing. I was like,
Oh, I had to look away in some parts, dude. I can't even watch this.
yeah, yeah. Like I was like, man, what's gonna happen next? Like it was, and it's crazy because you can try and read about this movie all you want. If you don't watch it, you're not gonna grasp how impactful this movie is for any cinephile or anyone that could appreciate good method acting. Like someone needs to, if you like movies, especially if you like black and whites, and you like drama, and especially Willem Dafoe, you need to watch this movie. And that's another thing. How's William not the Joker yet?
I don't know. That
There's
would be amazing if he did.
seriously. We
Yeah,
gotta
but
they find you a flashpoint or something, that might be an opportunity right there.
he's at that age now where it could work, but if he gets any older, it would be possibly too old. But like going back to one last little tidbit on the Lighthouse for listeners,
Sure.
like if you want to
Sure.
watch that movie, I recommend watching it with somebody and watching it at night. Like don't watch it during the daytime. Watch it with like, your blinds closed and you just honed in because that movie, man, will shake you. It's got so many like themes like that's the thing that I like watching movies that has themes that you can rewatch it. I don't even know if I would rewatch it. Like it's for me, it's at the level of all right, what's the one movie with DiCaprio, Revenant. It's at like that level for me.
It is. It kind of is. I mean, Revenant's hard to watch.
It's hard to watch, dude.
And that's exactly like this. Like Lighthouse, Yeah, I guess now as you put it like that, thanks. Now I'll throw those two movies together.
Well, yeah, like I can't like there's some movies that I can't rewatch, not because I didn't enjoy the experience, but because it was painful. Like there like I really felt for the character and I don't want to relive that.
Yeah, I think that was almost like the Walking Dead scene when dude gets his head smashed in. Like no one
Oh,
was ready for that, and I think Walking Dead was already getting hard for me to watch. You know, and when I made it that far, I was like, why am I holding on? And then when that scene happened, I'm like, I'm done. I'm done. This is
I
crazy.
tapped out too, man. I tapped out after that season. I was like, I can't do this. This is just painful.
It was. But yeah, sorry, I mean to trail off there. Yeah, I mean that the lighthouse is. I could probably talk for an hour about the lighthouse.
It's just one of
Anything
those movies, man. It's just one of those films that like it touches you in a way that you can't really express unless you see it.
it's a work of art, you know. I started off as an artist in my youth. I used to do lots of drawing, sketching, painting. Used to really love watercolor, but I would then do mixed media stuff with pencil stuff in first, then I would use some type of ink, and then color pencil or crayon. I mean, I would do whatever I could to bring pieces to life, but I've always had an appreciation for art of any form, especially movies. And there's something about that film that is literally a work of art. I mean, from the lighting to the perspective angles, the compositional eerie shots, the framing in some scenes, man. I mean, it's sometimes it's almost like on pins and needles slash hair raising, you know, and it is a work of art, that film, you know. It is
For sure.
definitely.
Yeah, there's a lot of inspiration you can get for toy photography from that film. I
Oh,
think
easy.
I think like especially like you mentioned the Baron Benz figure, that figure like just kind of goes with that whole mood. And I think there's gonna be I think there's gonna be like probably in the top 10 movies of this decade, like that's gotta be one of them for sure.
I hope so too. I mean, I probably know a lot of people that wouldn't watch it just, you know, because they think right off the bat, oh, it's a boring black or white or something. But I think people should really give it a shot. It's because it's not what you think it is. It really isn't.
Oh man, it's an experience, dude, for sure.
For sure.
So, dude, let's transition. This last topic I wanna hit on before we close it out. But
Okay.
what's your regiment for staying positive and keeping a good fresh mental attitude, especially since this is your hobby to kind of decompress and uh and to stay just to stay mentally fit. Like what do you do so you can people can kind of understand that?
I'm gonna be as honest as I can be, and I'm gonna say prayer. Um, we have all kinds of stigmas in society of things that we feel we can and can't talk about, can and can't do. It's kind of like when Dan went out of his way to start the With Toys in Mind. I was fully supporting it. Oh yeah, I still do. You know, I'm with it. It's important that we know about mental health awareness. I mean, if anything, this year has been definitive of that and what's been
Mm,
happening. And so I will say my faith, you know, my faith I have in God and praying. As much as, you know, I've probably gotten shadow banned and lost followers because of my Bible scripture posts I started doing. And I have no problem with that. I want to invoke thought. And as an artist, I always will. You know, it's my medium, it's what I choose to do. And if it invokes some kind of thought, then it's still mission accomplished. Not to get a rise, not to ruffle feathers. But I think if it's anything that can get you to think a little differently than the line you walk in a day, it's beneficial for you. We all got to kind of think outside the box. And I learned a long time ago, you know, that I had to just really stick to my faith. And I didn't realize that in the beginning when I was, you know, dealing with anxiety, depression. That's because I became a slave to my life, you know, the job, the family drama, trying to help everybody else or not help myself. Like it took a toll. And the
mm,
way I found to help myself was just stay in prayer, learn to pray. I got involved in my church. I lead the guest services team. I lead prayer huddle. I'm there to support people that, you know, just want to talk and go through things. I'm still reading the Bible, you know, like it's new for me, all of it, but I truly enjoy the journey and how much I've grown as a person and what it's done for me. But that's my morning. My morning breakfast. The first thing I do is pray. That's the first thing I do every morning, and it's the last thing I do at night. And I pray as much as I can during the day, and it's helped me tremendously. I mean, I was struggling a lot, during my beginning journey as a toy photographer, and I had some moments last year, and I appreciate the friends that I've met because they've been very supportive. And it's one of those things where, like, as much as I had my friends to reach out to or people I could talk to, there was something that was missing. And when I finally committed to just being in prayer as much as I can and devoting my life in Christ, it literally just changed everything for the better for me. And I wanted to be as open about that and transparent, because I think a lot of people are going through something, and we're all trying to find a way to get through the day. So some people wake up, the first thing they do is turn on the news. Some people turn on the weather. Some people get up and put on music. I mean, there's nothing wrong with finding something positive that helps you, but I think it's important that you find something positive to do. That's the first thing in the morning that truly helps you, not something that's got you overthinking the day, worrying about something that happened and he said, she said, or worrying about work or whatever. Like, finding something that the first thing you do in the morning, your regimen should be something positive. And for me, that's what it's been. It's been my faith and just being in prayer, and it's helped me tremendously, making smarter choices for my day to day with my family, my son, being a father, being a husband to my wife, better work ethic at work with my team. It's bled into my tour photography. I can't even explain it, but I've had this creative drive and boost over the past few months. Like, I've just kind of catapulted forward based on where my mindset is. And it doesn't mean I don't trip up and have, issues, some days that are down. I mean, we ain't perfect. And that's the whole thing, just not seeking perfection, but progression and moving forward. And so that's just been part of my regimen. It's been helping me, be who I am.
I love that, man. That is something that I didn't even know about you until after I had invited you on the show. And I was like, man, we got something else we can connect on too, because we have that faith that we can bond. And it's very misunderstood, especially in 2020 with everything going on, because there's so much misunderstanding about faith and about what it is to be a Christian. Because I don't even like calling myself a Christian, because I feel like that term really doesn't define my faith, because it's been so misused. But being someone that has that believes to have covenant and relationship with God, it's not something that I chose for myself. It's more like he chose me, and I've just been,
Exactly.
you know what I mean? It's like, once you have that recognition, it's like I can't get away from him. Like, I can't, like, it's not like I'm trying to see him and everything. It's like everywhere I go, everything I do, it's like I just see him, and he's making himself known. And if you're willing to open up your mind and your eyes to the possibility that there is a creator that's interested in you, not only for his benefit, but for your benefit, and to realize that there's more to this thing than meets the eye, then your whole worldview changes, and you're like, wait a minute, like, he actually cares, like, and then it's like Pandora's box. You know what I mean? It's like, wait a minute, that you got to go down all the list of questions, and everybody's journey is different. But
It is. It is. It's important that, whoever has that sticks to it too. It's so easy to get swayed because, like you said, you don't like to identify. It's being a Christian. Someone has this negative label to it now, and it's just because there's a misunderstanding. Like, I can go watch these movies still. That doesn't dictate my mindset of my life. Granted, if I'm watching horror movies every single day, all day, that would definitely alter my state of mind. No different than if I listen to gangster rap 24/7. There's been a huge difference. I remember what that was like when I was a kid. I think a lot of people can agree. Like, if you listen to old Pac, Biggie, Jay-Z, DMX, and you was with a group of those guys listening to the same song, and someone spoke wrong to you, prove to me that it didn't have an impact in your state of tone or attitude in the moment. I'm telling you, you would probably do something pretty stupid. What you feed your mind and your eyes does make a difference. But as long as you have a self-discipline, that's where it matters. And at the end of the day, that's what I learned in my faith, is remembering where my discipline lies. But it still allows me to be creative. I can still watch alien movies, Predators when I want to, or Blade to give me inspiration for my artwork. God blessed me with a gift. I've been an artist my whole life. He made me an artist. I didn't choose that. He chose it for me. My very first thing I ever did was draw a giant T-Rex on a chalkboard, and I was in preschool. I don't know where it came from. Teacher let me stay in class. I drew that, and since that day, I loved drawing. It was just something that came to me, and I took a hiatus from drawing a lot, but I found a new thing that I picked up along the way, and that was his toy photography. He gave me that gift. I'm going to use it, like digital painting. I got into that because I remember I bought an old like refurbished Samsung Note 2 with the stylus, and that's when I started learning how to digital paint. And it just came to me, and I do believe that was a blessing from him too, because he made me an artist. No matter what I do, I can create some art from it, and I owe that to him. But that's what relies on my faith. When that, it's not when I'm watching or listening to, it's I know where my foundation lies, and it allows me to do these things. That's why I don't mind being able to talk to somebody in any walk of life. I think putting myself in a position with somebody who's even feeling negative, if I could turn that positive and help them, that's the least I can do, because I feel like how much I've been blessed and what God's done for me.
For sure, man. And just to go one step further with that, it's like as a community of photographers and people who are creatives, like, we were designed, I believe that we were designed to be like God, because if you look at the scriptures and you look at what he did, like he's a creator. Yep. And he created. And what do we want to do? We want to create. We're designing that image. And so Absolutely. We want to do those things at a deep level, because we whether you like it or not, like that is how we were designed, is to create and recreate and to produce. And having that perspective, you realize, well, that's why I want to do this. That's why I have that drive. And it gives you, man, it's just like, it's like basically like you see a layer, like you see, like we were talking earlier, you see like this life in 2 dimensions, and you just see like, reward, path, outcome scenarios. And you're like, well, if I do this, I get this. And eventually that becomes stale and stagnant, and you want something a little bit deeper. And then maybe you start, considering, well, maybe there's something more to this life than just, I live this, work this job, and then I provide, and then one day I die. Right. And maybe there's something more. And that, being open to that is like the first step into a wider world. Because if you put God in a box, right, and if you label him as you look at everything else, you're not going to see him, because he can't fit in your box.
Right.
He can't, man. Like when he created this whole existence and time itself, like, yes, we are living in this existence, and we have our breath, and we have our life, and we have the things that we do, but that even that can't contain him. That's how big he is. And we put these ideas like, oh, he's just, maybe he's not powerful enough to stop the evil that's going on in the world, and maybe he just doesn't care, or maybe he just has no interest. But it's like, all of that is just wrong perspective. Like, and once you gain perspective of the truth, once you realize, wait a minute, this is how he really is, and this is why he does what he does, then it's like your whole worldview changes, and then you can really start to have relationship.
That's really what it is having that close, intimate relationship with him, and then you find out your purpose. He has a purpose for us all, and that goes back to our conversation we had earlier. I think it's in us. We want to have a purpose and belong to something, and that's what it is. It's the way we've been designed, and I try my best to let others in the community belong to this community. I mean, we all want to feel belong, and I as busy as it may be, as consuming as a hobby can get, as many times, we get involved in tags and sessions and stuff like that. I really do try to make a best and a point of my week and my day to reach out, checking on somebody when I can, because we don't know what everybody's walks like and what they're going through. We just know they want to belong.
Mm.
And sometimes it's easy to fall into this robotic nature. I'm like, I got to post today. So I keep my account active. I got to post today for my likes or whatever it may be. We all have fallen into that at some point. Anyone that says they don't do it for the likes, they're not being honest with themselves. There was a point where they started and they said, okay, I'm doing this for this. I
Mhm.
think there comes a point when you do. And I like the fact that I've grown past that, because was at that point too. I'm like, man, what am I doing different? What am I doing wrong? We start to compare all those things we can fall victim to, but it's really because we want to belong to something bigger and greater. And the reason being is that purpose that was put inside. A lot of us can't put our finger on it, but that's what it is. It's God's design. We want to belong to something, loving each other and supporting each other, community, but loving each other, bottom line. And that's what I do my best to try and spread when I can, where I can.
I love it, man. You've given me some hope on this episode, dude. I really appreciate you, man.
Oh man, I appreciate you, man. And I mean, I'm all for trying to stay as positive as possible. I mean, I have my moments. I do. I have my venting sessions, and sometimes I want to break and snap, and that's because I'm not perfect, but I'm imperfectly perfect. If that makes any sense, I'm perfectly imperfect. I like the fact that I'm still at a point where I can acknowledge what hurts, and that's how you connect with people. We ain't robots. We have feelings, and that's what's important. We have to identify that we have those feelings and we can do something about it. We don't have to just sweep it under the doormat and just say we'll deal with it later. We got to reach out and just support each other. And that's what community is. And that's what this community does.
I love it, dude. So if people want to connect with you on social, where can they?
So I'm solely on Instagram, man, inspired by Andre, at inspired by Andre. I do my best to get back to DMs and messages. I just been trying to get the hang of just the volume of people reaching out, and I do appreciate that. I didn't think it'd get this far at this length and how it has been, but I appreciate everybody's support. And if you have any questions, I mean, I'll do the best I can to answer them. I'm no pro, but I just like to have fun.
I love it, man. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And you can find me at Dagobah_days. You can find the feature pages I run, 112 Community and Star Wars Toy Picks on Instagram. And you can find the Toy Photocast Instagram page at Toy Photocast on Instagram. So remember, we are storytellers. Get out there, tell your story, have some fun, and thank you for listening. See you at the next episode. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Toy Photocast with Inspired by Andre. I had an amazing time chatting with Nick, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I got to give a shout out to my Patreon hardcore listeners and supporters, Niels Van Riel, Steve Mank, Scott Blind, Jordan Dodrill, and Stephanie Bear. Thank you guys for supporting this podcast, and thank you so much for being an integral part of this community. I hope you guys are doing well and being good and doing good and drinking your water. Stay safe, everybody. See you at the next episode.